Hello, welcome to Soulprint. It's another Pendulum Friday. Really good questions this week. So I kind of want to just get going here. For anybody new to the channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy the Soulprint community. For anybody who is new, I'm just going to explain the pendulum. So when I am protected and the pendulum is ready to work, it goes side to side. Pendulum show me yes. It will shift into a back and forth and no. Then it'll start to go round and round. All right. And you can see those movements are pretty fluid. The pendulum also responds very quickly. All right. Kirstjen Nielsen was Trump's Secretary of Homeland Security from 2017 to 2019. Will she face some kind of accountability for her part in the separation of families at the border? No, no. And whether that seems not right or unfair or not just, I probably agree with all of you. I think that one of the things all of us are going to have to sort of come to terms with is that not everybody is going to be punished. There's only so much any Justice Department can do, Merrick Garland or not Merrick Garland in charge. And I think they will, what I'm being told is that the government will work to do everything they can to reconnect those families, get those kids back to their parents. But this perpetual sort of suing people and charging people, it's not going to help as much as it's just going to keep things really kind of agitated and stressed. What about Stephen Miller? Will he ever face charges for separating families at the border? Now that's a yes. Um, if I'm not mistaken, it was sort of his blueprint, right? He was the one that came up with that brilliant idea. Will seniors receive any assistance before the election? It's not answering that question. Let me go on to the next one. Will there be a stimulus check before Biden leaves the White House? Okay, that's a yes. So I don't know if there was other assistance that you were referring to, but and then will something be done about price gouging in the next 6 months? All right, well, price they are addressing it. And they continue to address it. And your inflation rate in the US has just dropped. So that is an indicator that things are sort of stabling and your prices are coming down. It doesn't mean that it goes back to a place where everybody felt like they at least had some breathing room. Um, so there, I'm going to just rephrase it. Is the work with regards to price gouging going to continue for the rest of Biden's term? Yes. And is that something the Harris administration will continue looking at and dealing with? Yes. Okay. Stacy Abrams has run for governor of Georgia twice and lost. Will she ever win that position? Right now, it's a no. You know, and Kemp is sort of falling out of favor from what I gather, um, because he's pulled some really bonehead stunts. But I think that Stacey Abrams for that position, very much like Beto O'Rourke, they sort of come to it with it sort of already the negative losses behind them. So I know she really wanted to be. It doesn't look like it. Will Stacy Abrams, however, be pointed to another position in the government, such as a cabinet post? And that is far more positive. That's a strong yes. Will Hunter Biden get a suspended sentence? Okay, and Joyce has put a note here. I have no idea that the sentencing date has been set. October, maybe? Does anybody know? Um, Biden's attorney has asked that the case be dismissed because of the ruling of in Florida dismissing classified documents cases on Trump. Um, I'm just going to back this up. Hunter Biden sentencing date is sometime this autumn of 2024. Is that correct? Yes. And will he receive a suspended sentence? No. Will he go to jail? No. Will 40-year vet, now grass beef farmer Sean Harris win against Marjorie Taylor Greene in Georgia? Now, that's the thing I want you to remember right now is as the Harris campaign wraps up and gets stronger and stronger and stronger, some of the people who were sort of like, yeah, you know what? That Republican's going to hold their seat. That's just how it's going to be in that area. You're going to see that things start to shift and change. I don't know if they're going to change for Marjorie Taylor Greene. We're going to ask, but be mindful of that. That some that sort of felt like a Democratic long shot may not be. And if there's somebody doing that in your area, do whatever it is you can do to help support their campaign. Here we go. Okay, so is Marjorie Taylor Greene going to hold on to her uh, House seat after this election? Unfortunately, that's a yes. Will she end up serving that whole term? It's a wonky no right now, so it feels maybe there's something up that's going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, but it's sort of a funny answer, that one. All right. Will Harris and Waltz still win if Trump is not on the top of the ticket? Very strong yes. And I'll tell you why. More and more people are coming to understand the damage that is being done in terms of reproductive health care. Project 2025, it is like horrifying when you actually look at some of the stuff that they want to do. And if something should happen and Trump is not at the top of the ticket, and perhaps they may even somehow get somebody who is more palatable, you're still going to have lost significant amount of normal Republicans because of other issues, right? The abortion issue, Project 2025. The other thing to kind of wonder is if if for whatever reason Trump isn't at the top of the ticket, will the MAGAs gravitate towards that replacement, or will they simply choose to sit out? Let's ask that. If there is somebody other than Trump at the top of the ticket, will the MAGA voters be much less inclined to vote. Yeah. Got to remember, right? It's a cult. What happens when the cult leader isn't there? The cult disintegrates. Will Democrats retain the Senate? Okay, they don't actually have the Senate right now. They have the House. No, they have the Senate, and the other guys have the House. Sorry, I'm a little fuzzy in the head. Okay, will Democrats retain the Senate as a result of the November election? Okay, yes. The question is, yes, will it be a blue tsunami? A blue tsunami. This is a thing. I'm not sure exactly how many how many senators are actually up for reelection in this cycle, right? Because they have what 4, 6, 8 year terms, right? And so they're there for a long time. So if they were elected in the last election, they're not even coming up for election in this cycle. So I don't know how many are up for election or reelection. And I don't know what the balance is, right? I don't believe that it's the same number of Republicans and Democrats. So, you know, realistically, if the Democrats get 3, maybe 4 more seats in the Senate, that is a tsunami. Okay, just so let's monitor our expectations here. The Democrats are going to retain the Senate. Yes. Okay. Let's ask this question. Will the Democrats have enough of a majority that they will be able to um, eliminate the filibuster? Yes. And once that happens, things are going to start moving ahead. Will the Democrats gain the House in November? That's a yes. Okay. And is that going to be a blue tsunami? And right now, that's a yes. Doesn't mean anybody can take their pedal off the gas, right? It's interesting. The energy on this race, it it continues to sort of fluctuate or shift. Um, Sometimes it feels more like a much narrower win for Harris, and sometimes it feels like a landslide. So clearly, that energy is shifting as her campaign gains momentum and Trump campaign continues to falter. Oh God, I don't, did you guys hear this? According to J.D. Vance, the only thing a post-menopausal woman should be doing or is good to do, ready? Is look after her grandchildren. That is her role. Nothing else. Can't have a baby, then you start looking after babies in your family. I'm sure that's going to go over well. Has Donald Trump had a medical event that is causing him to stay off the campaign trail? Oh, sorry. Okay, so right now that's a no. Um, and then there was just, did it affect his brain or his balance? I want to look at that a little bit differently. Is Donald Trump experiencing a general deterioration that is becoming more and more noticeable within the campaign? Yes. Is is a lot of it or some of it or more of it as a direct result that he is a narcissist who has received wounds and he can't be sort of controlled right now. He's you know reacting in not a very good way to the fact that um the attention has been taken off of him and somebody else is getting the attention, never mind the fact that it is a black South Asian woman. Never mind that. So what you're seeing is he is becoming really erratic. um So I guess, you could say it was sort of related to the brain. It feels at this point that it is far more of a um like an emotional reaction, right? I mean, that's what you have with narcissists, right? As soon as the tension shifts, um, they start like kind of acting out and losing it, right? Because they're not the focus anymore. Uh, Everyone sees Trump becoming more erratic. Would the Republicans like to replace him? Yep, they would. Gotta wonder what the rules are within the Republican Party in terms of replacing a candidate after the nomination process has gone through and been complete. So after their convention. Now, I say that knowing that it really wouldn't matter what the rules are because the Republicans have gotten so good at being hypocrites that they would just simply bend or break or twist the rules to suit their agenda. Sort of, like the Supreme Court. Um, I mean, ultimately, is that likely to happen? Is he likely to get replaced? No. Is Trump going to be sworn in as President of the United States on the January 2025 inauguration day? No. Is there a mole in the Trump camp? I gotta reword that. Are there moles in the Trump camp? Yeah, I think narrowing it down to one would just not be quite right. Would Trump like to fire his campaign team? So, where I saw it, but I saw it somewhere this morning that every August so far, um, Trump has fired his campaign team. It's like August comes around, whatever you're doing, he's mad now and you're gone. So it'll be interesting to see if he does that and who comes on board. Let's ask. Would Trump like to fire his campaign team? Yes. Well, why? Because he's a narcissist. So every single thing that's going wrong is their fault. Everything, their fault. Because he can't in any way, shape, or form accept any responsibility, right? So he has to blame it on somebody. Is Trump likely to hold with tradition and fire or replace a significant number of people on the campaign team? Yes. All right. Will Trump's passport be taken away? So it wasn't taken away. It hasn't been taken away through all of these legal kind of wranglings because the decision was made that everybody knows who he is. He is so recognizable truly around the world that he wouldn't need a passport to verify his identity. So that's why it was never taken away. Will the passport be taken away? Let's ask it this, with sentencing as he gets sentenced. Okay, that looks like a yes. And is that because on some level he would be considered a flight risk? And that is a yes. Will the government stop Trump from escaping to another country? So this is interesting. Because apparently a lot of the people, the agents that work with Trump and are around Trump are kind of sort of loyal to him. And so you can't depend on them to sort of stop him. Let's see, will the government stop Trump from escaping to another country? Okay, and there's no answer. Um, I suspect that may have to do with the timing of it. And where he wants to go, I don't know. Um, okay, didn't Melania take Baron to Slovenia? Okay, I'm going to rephrase that. Has Melania taken Baron to Slovenia recently within the last year? Okay, it's saying yes. Are one or both of them still there now? No. Trump's attorneys have asked for a sentencing delay in the hush money case until after the election. Will it be granted? No. No. This is the thing, right? Those judges are about done with him and his shenanigans and his delay tactics. They're not going to continue to extend all of these courtesies. Will the focus on the convention be uplifting and joyful as the campaign has been? Okay, yes. Is there some friction going on between, I'm going to say it this way, the Democratic old guard and the Harris campaign, or the new younger guard? Is there sort of a little bit of a push and pull power struggle going on there? That's yes. When it comes right down to it, will Harris and Walz get more of what they want in terms of how the connection is going to unfold? Are they going to basically get more than the old guard? And that's a yes. Okay, those are your questions. Let's say something, and I keep meaning to tell you this, and I keep forgetting. So, shortly after the Biden stepped back, there was a lot of questions about, well, is she gonna keep him on as an advisor or some sort of a special envoy, or like, what's she gonna do with him? How does that work? Where's he going? Um, it is said that every single past president still has their security clearance, except for Trump. Biden wouldn't let him keep it. But all the rest of them do. And there's a reason for that. It is so that they are kept, in the loop. And when the sitting president wants to reach out, and apparently they have all done this to a former president or former president, those former presidents understand what's going on because they have been receiving the security briefs. So, I mean, she has a lot of her own ideas and ways of doing things. they're telling me that her years in the White House as vice president, they're literally saying she was like a sponge, and she just soaked up everything. She soaked up the knowledge and the traditions and the behaviors, and she just absorbed all of it. And so she's well equipped to go into the Oval Office, but she recognizes that the tradition or the behavior of reaching out to past presidents is incredibly valuable. And whether that is reaching out to Biden because he knows, some leader of some country and he's known him for 20 years and they get along, or whether it has to do with sort of something Clinton did or would know about or have more experience about, or Obama, right? Um, there's communication there. But Trump was the only one who never ever took advantage of that because, well, why? Because Trump knows everything and he's smarter than everybody and he knows more than anybody and he's the best president that ever lived. And so, no, he doesn't need to listen to other people and what they think. Alrighty, here we go. So it's the weekend. Have a good one. If you are, I hope you're enjoying summer. If you're in the northern half of the hemisphere, and winter if you're not. Um, enjoy the sun. Take some downtime. For people who were impacted along the eastern seaboard with Eduardo, um, I'm sending you some energy and light as that cleanup continues. And I invite all of you to do the same. And so, over the course of this weekend, do something nice for yourself and someone else. Until next time, take good care, be well. I'll see you soon.